Hey everyone, Andy here. So I wanted to talk to you all about iOS 14 going into beta this upcoming Monday. The beta will be immediately available to developers right after the Worldwide Developers Conference that will be a live stream this year. Normally, Apple invites a couple hundred people out to their headquarters in Cupertino, California. However, with the coronavirus pandemic, we're under a different circumstance where large crowds are not allowed to be permitted. So that's why this year, Apple will be presenting iOS 14 virtually this year on a live stream. And they have confirmed that they will be streaming it live on YouTube, Apple themselves, of course, on Monday. So I'll try to see if I can stream the thing on Monday. The event. It's the thing, but it's the next big thing when it comes to iOS. Best case scenario, I will try to record my reaction to the features on Monday. But we are going to take a look at this Macworld article, and I will put it in the link in the description below so you all can read it. So this is from 2 weeks ago, but it's still relevant now because a lot of other content creators are getting excited. Of course, I'm getting excited because with the Apple devices, the Apple devices that I'm going to have, iPhone 8 and the iPad 5th generation from 2017, that will support checkra1n. So when iOS 14 comes out, we'll be immediately able to jailbreak with checkra1n, hopefully, so the developers will keep us posted on that. But as far as everything else going on, let's get into this because it does pertain to me. So, Apple is considering adding a built-in call recording feature. Now, this dates back to, of course, jailbreaking and other third-party apps that want to get involved. But let's get into a couple of things going on here. So, back on Wednesday last week, China stated that Apple may include call recording in iOS 14. So, is it possible that maybe we're getting closer and closer to call recording on our devices? I certainly hope it will. This is just a picture from China, and it does look like you're going to be able to record your phone and FaceTime calls. Now, I don't know what use this will have, but I guess some of us have been waiting for this feature for a while. So, they're going to have built-in Safari translation. So this is just rumored, but I'm hoping that most cases will happen. It appears that Apple is working to expand Siri's minimal translation features, just words and phrases, into something grander and more system-wide. Safari, the site claims, may have the ability to translate web pages without the use of a third-party app or service. Safari would be the first app to get the translation ability. Apple is also trying to test this feature with other apps too. Translation would happen locally using the numeral engine, so you wouldn't even necessarily need an internet connection. Now, for anybody who has an Apple Pencil, yours truly doesn't count because of the iPad 5th generation, but Apple is planning to enable Apple Pencil support on websites. You'd be able to use the Pencil as a complete pointing device, not just to draw and mark up, but to scroll, tap, and input. It dovetails nicely with the previously rumored new Pencil handwriting translation that works in any text field throughout iPad OS. So, Apple Pencil is going to be supported on the Apple iPad Pros. That's what I'm trying to say here. I just lost my train of thought because I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't this have already been added anyway? But I guess not. Okay, I don't want to get into clip tools. That's not really necessary. Okay, wallpaper widget settings. Twitter user @DongleBookPro has what are claimed to be images of the iOS 14 wallpaper management screens. They show a new collections menu that users can populate with their own photos and some home screen appearance options that let you change the way your home screen image looks, making it darker, giving it a gradient, etc. So, I would love this feature. To be able to not only change the setting for widgets and wallpaper, more options on my iPhone 8 and the iPad 5th generation, but just to be able to have customization options, this is a long time coming. We would have just taken this setting for granted. I'm pretty excited to see that. CarPlay and Maps. According to a report from 9 to 5 Mac, Apple will allow users to set a wallpaper for use in CarPlay. So, that's a first. I would be interested to see that. Okay, Maps. This is what I want to see. Apple will be giving more information about Genius Bar services offered at Apple stores. For example, you could see if the store offers same-day screen or battery repairs or device trading credit. Now, this is going to be useful when Apple stores reopen. Because at the moment, I know in my area, I'm still in phase 1 for reopening here in New York City. A couple areas in New York, I think a majority of stores have reopened, but I think it's limited personnel in stores. So, I guess the reason why Apple is doing this is just to give more specifics on what services are available in stores right now. Because I know, for example, in New York City, we're only allowed for curbside pickup to get an Apple device. So, that's just the example I can give right now. 9 to 5 says Maps will tell you if a location has seating for couples, discounts, or children with movie theaters. So this will also be useful when the movie theaters reopen, because there are still a couple movies scheduled to come out later this summer. Wonder Woman 84 got pushed to October. Hey, I'm upset about that, but what can you do in our COVID world? But this could be useful down the line. I guess Apple was planning this before the pandemic, obviously. Okay. Every new version of iOS includes new apps. There will be a new AR app where users can get more information about the world around them. Specifically, the site has found references to the Apple Store and Starbucks, which suggests that Apple will be partnering with stores like it does for Apple Pay and the Apple Card. Okay, they'll also update the Fitness app designed to let users download guide fitness-related videos that will walk them through various workouts. As reported by Mac Rumors, the Apple debut is part of an iOS 14, Watch OS 7, and tvOS 14. So, this is what doesn't make any sense. Does iPad OS 14 include this? Guess I'll have to find out on my iPad 5th generation, but let's just figure this out. 'Cause I do know the iPad 5 is going to get supported. Yes, so possible release of a smart keyboard with trackpad for the new iPad that's supposed to come out later this year. The rumored 5G model. Mac-style cruisers might also be on the way for Apple's tablet, with the classic arrow pointer and gloved hand icons reportedly making their way over from the Mac. Furthermore, Apple might be introducing new trackpad gestures that let you switch quickly between apps, reports 9 to 5 Mac. The home screen might get a little bit of a revamp. Shorting to let users hide the apps they don't regularly use, iOS 14 will reportedly include a list view like that in which Watch OS includes it, making it easier for users to see all the installed apps at once. 9 to 5 Mac reports that iOS 14's new list view will include various sorting options, including filters by apps with unread notifications and frequency of use. And Siri will offer suggestions based on time and location. Oh, and speaking of the devil, I just triggered it on my iPhone 8. Lucky my iPad 5 is off. Otherwise, there'd be bigger problems right now. Along with the newer list view, the iPhone might also be getting an iPad-style multitasking screen called Grid Switcher, according to Ben Geskin on Twitter. So, they're actually going to implement an iPad-style app switcher. So, from what I'm gathering, this could be the biggest iOS upgrade, and I hate to say this might be the biggest one in 7 years, which dates back all the way to 2013 when iOS 7 came out. Okay, Ben Geskin on Twitter said, Home indicator, you'll get 2 rows of recent apps, and there might be some split screen functionality as well. As he explains, when you swipe the app down, screen goes darker and shows the lock above it, locks and unlocks as you swipe down. So I'm not really going to get into the Apple Pencil, but they're just claiming from Mac Rumors that it'll be more compatible with the stock messages apps, notes, reminders, calendar, mail, and more. Alright, so there you have it. So there's the HomeKit. Not going to get into that. This is interesting. So, for people with hearing issues, there will be a new feature that will be able to detect sounds. So, obviously, this will be important post-COVID world, obviously. So, loud sounds are going to be very important for people who have severe hearing issues. Alright, the camera will be able to detect hand gestures for controlling things on screen. AirPods could be getting some new accessibility features as well for mild to moderate hearing loss. Finally, iOS 14 will reportedly offer the ability to run an audiogram on device to help users tune the audio. So I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's get into the obvious, of course. Let's just state the fact that any 2019 device that was released from the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max are going to get supported. The 10S and the 10R are going to be supported. Now, the earliest model of the iPhone that's going to be supported at the moment is the iPhone 6S. And I want to get my facts straight so that way I don't get you all confused. Any device that has an A9 chipset or above should be getting iOS 14. The iPhone SE, and I will mention this is the first one, and this is going to implement to my mom. The iPhone SE, the first gen iPhone SE that was released back in 2016, will also be getting iOS 14. So again, A9 chipset, you will be getting that. And I will mention that iPhone 7, iPhone 8, and iPhone 10 will be supported. The good news for me, since I have the 5th gen iPad from 2017, I will be in fact getting iPad OS 14. So that is the best news I could get all day. Knowing that my 2017 model iPad will be getting support for this iOS is a big deal. Alright? I highly suggest now, go on eBay, try to snug it up, because I'll be doing a video in the near future about how I got one for under $150 and doing performance checks on it. And I'll be doing future videos with it, so stay tuned. If you're new here, subscribe. Just giving you the heads up. Now, 5th gen iPad, I want to mention that has the A9 chipset. So that will be supported. And I have a theory that this is going to be the last iPad OS that the iPad 5 will support. And I don't know what I'm going to do from there, because once I do the performance test, I'm just not really going to do that many basic tasks with it. But just as long as I can take notes in the MTA boardroom, that's all that matters. Alright, the newest iPad mini and iPad Air models, and all iPad Pro models. Now, this is a debate that I want you all to have in the comments. And let's talk about this, because this is a good discussion to have in the comments. Or I'll start something on Reddit. So if you want to go on Reddit, look me up Andy's Randomness. I'm on Reddit. I'm going to have this debate with people in the next couple of days. Which iPad mini and iPad Air models are going to get supported? Because this is a very interesting discussion. Alright? So, here's my theory. The iPad mini 4 will be stuck on the last iOS 13 firmware. Whatever the last one will be, it's going to be stuck on there. Because look at the iPad mini 4. Could it really handle iOS 14? To be honest, not really. Because it only has 1.5 gig of RAM. How is it going to be able to support that? Versus what I have in the iPad 5th generation. And I will mention this for the record, that it has almost 2 gigs of RAM. It could support it. Now, everyone's favorite budget iPad. Let's talk about the iPad Air 2. Let's get into that. So it has the A8 chipset, but here's the catch. It only has 1.5 gigs of RAM versus the iPad Air that came out last year, and hopefully Apple will release the iPad Air 4 later this year. The iPad Air 4 could have 3 gigs of RAM. So, I'm going to be honest with you right now. If you have an iPad Air 2, or if you have the iPad mini 4, don't even think about it. You're not getting it. Now, if you are thankful that you spent a lot of money on an iPad Pro, all models will be in fact supported. So again, I expect more tablets to come out at Apple's official announcement for the new devices, hopefully sometime in the fall. I'm assuming Tim Cook will be giving the address in California. Hopefully there will be spectators. You never know what could happen in 3 months. But look at it this way. There's more tablets coming out later this year. Hopefully the new tablets are going to support 5G. And hopefully the iPhone 12 will support 5G. So I'm keeping a lot of faith in that. So again, just want to quickly wrap it up by saying that developers will be able to test iOS 14 beta. iOS 14 beta will be available to the developers this Monday, June 22nd, as soon as Worldwide Developers Conference, virtual conference, aka the live stream, is over. Also, once again, I just mentioned the iPhone 12. This is going to be very interesting to see what the A13 chipset's going to be able to do. This is going to be, to date, the most powerful Apple lineup that we are expecting later this fall. And I'll personally wait to see if the Uncover team will jailbreak maybe before the end of the year, or worst case scenario, 2021. But I will say this. Stay tuned, because I'll be all over it with this conference on Monday. So again, before I wrap it up, I will leave the simple question in the comments, and I will leave I'll try to see if I can get on any of the Reddit forums in the next couple of days. I'll create my own poll. I'll see if I can get on the Apple community on Reddit in the next couple of days. I want to know. I really want to get people's honest opinions. Do you think the iPad mini 4 and the iPad Air 2 are going to be supported? As I just said, I gave my reasons. I'm going to go with a hard no. I'm sorry for all those people that are not blessed like me who have the iPad 5, but, you know, too bad. Too bad. I really do feel bad for you. And if you're that desperate, as I said, like I did, go on eBay. You can get a steal if you wait it out, bid, and get an iPad like I did. So, iPad 5th generation performance test video, I will work on it next week. Hopefully it'll be next week or before the 4th of July. So, all just depends what happens when my region goes to phase 2, because I have other plans I am trying to do on this channel when we get to phase 2. So with that being all said, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.